how we found out our exes were cheating on us.
Now, when it came down to it, he had a coworker. Because her mom flew down from New York to come and meet him. Bitch, you're a dummy. You're a dummy.
And these bitches was plotting on me. They literally said in the group chat, Sway coming back to the team. We gotta get her nigga. She said, if you want to be mad at anybody, you should be mad at my cousin, because she set the shit up. He said something to me. I stepped in his face. It was a Tyler Perry movie scene. Sway, 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 sway. You really wanna take a chance, huh? These bullets turn you to a dancer. I met your bitch, she a prancer. Pick up the G like I turn you to Casper. I got the re-rock the... Hey y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, it's Sway. Go follow me on Instagram and all my other social media platforms here. I'm just gonna put them here in the corner. Today I have a special guest with me.
Nami, nice to meet you.
Yes, this is my friend Nami, and this is my very first podcast type episode. We're gonna do a story time today, and what we're gonna talk about is how we found out our exes were cheating on us. One, you know, I'm just starting out with the big podcast type setup here, so don't come for me for this microphone. I do have better microphones. I just can't figure out how to connect it to my camera. You have to put that out there. Just don't come for the TikTok microphone. It works. So I brought her on here today because, you know, she's a very gorgeous, beautiful girl, but she got a lot of juicy situations going on in her past and in her current life too. So I feel like this would be one of the perfect people to sit and talk about some of these juicy situations with. So first of all, how many times have you been cheated on?
I'm not gonna lie. Too many times to count, but if we have to give a rough estimate, okay, for real, I want to say a good 5-6 times at least.
I don't even know where to start with my questioning for that. Put some questions down in the comments that y'all want to ask her about how that happened. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. How many times have I been cheated on? I've been cheated on in major relationships once that I know of, or twice that I know of, I guess, in that same relationship. But, you know, I've had little flings that thought, you know, they wanted to play around with somebody else, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really care though in that situation. But I got some tea. Don't burn your lips, bitch. Like, it's hot. So how about you start?
But I just don't know where to start.
First one.
The first one, I'm not gonna lie.
How long were y'all together?
I don't know, because I was like 16 and he was like 19, like 17, 16 going on 17, but he was like 19, and I want to say it was like maybe a year. But the gag is, I knew him since we were like childhood friends, so we basically knew each other since birth. Really, not too much here. Our families kind of raised us like cousins, but we were not blood related. So there was that. But anyways, fast forward. I always had a crush on him since I was little, but or did we have a crush on each other?
Girl,
I don't know.
When y'all officially like started messing with each other, how long were y'all messing with each other?
For like a year.
A year? Okay.
So one day I went to my godmom's house. My godmom was married to his uncle, and my godmom is my sister's mom. So, you know, it's just real twisted or whatever. I was over there during the summertime because I had some family things going on. And he was there. And, you know, it was like a little rekindle, hey, how you doing, whatever. Long time no see. And then he started coming over there more often because I was staying there for the summer, like I said. He asked me to go on a date somewhere, but then it was like this whole big thing when it came to the date, to where like his mom was tripped. Like, mind you, when it was family, his mom loved me, when it came to like him liking me and all of that, she was like, she's a gold digger, da 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 da, this, that, and the fifth. It's like, girl, everybody was like doing everything in their power for us to not. They was treating it like he was incest, and it was like, oh, we're like actually not related. We just kind of grew up together. So it was like this whole forbidden Romeo Juliet type vibe, and he basically was like, you know, forgive my mom for what she's talking about, and we still went on our date, whatever. Fast forward some more, everything's good, everything's great. I'm a Libra, but he was a Libra. So it was real cute, real stylish, real, you know, for the looks. Now, when it came down to it, he had a coworker. He was 19 and she was like 27. I'll say that. He was the manager at his aunt's company. I won't say no name. And he was the manager for her warehouse. And so he was making a lot of money at 19. The girl, she was just a little warehouse worker. He told me about her and said, you know,
like, you don't have to worry about her type shit?
More like he had a coworker and she was like the only cool one there for real that was like kind of around his age. Whatever, everybody else was older. So there was one time he came around. I mean, she came around. Mind you, they don't even work in the same area in the warehouse. And came behind him and was like all on him like this, grabbing him from behind, and he working. And I was like, what's going on here?
It's giving work, babe.
You know, basically. And so I'm like, what's that about? And he was like, well, we're just friends, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, little slick things started happening. They start texting outside of work. They had to go on like little trips, I guess you could say, for little expos for the hair care thing for his aunt. So there was another time they went on a little expo and he told me they had to share a room together. I was like, well, you know, I'm pretty sure some other females on the team. Why would y'all need to share? Y'all already traveling together, because it was like they had to drive across state lines. It wasn't
so they had
no
to
flight.
go on a road trip together and then stay in the room together.
Yeah. You know, me, I'm just young and naive. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. This wasn't shit making sense. Then he had the fucking excuse me, I don't know if I can cuss on here, but he had the audacity to sit there and tell me she tried to push up on him and tried to sleep with him. I was like, oh. My little heart was just, I didn't even really know what to do. I was trying to more so at the time not come across as insecure, because I'm like, he's grown, she's grown, and I'm the young one here. So am I tripping? So all that stuff, I was just like kind of letting it slide. Mind you, he was taking me on dates. He was coming to see me and stuff. He was buying me gifts. Ooh. Speaking of gifts, there was another time, because this is really something. There was another time I went to Mexico and she had went somewhere else. So me and her was both on a trip at the same time in different parts of the world. They had grew closer or whatever as friends, because he went from, oh, that's just my coworker, she cool, to, oh, now we're friends. And then it was like, at some point, I ain't gonna lie, in the phone, it was like some I love yous in there. And I'm like, I'm not telling my coworker I love them. Because, what? Dumb, naive, yeah. There was one time, since our families basically didn't want us to be together, before, because I have to rewind from the whole trip thing. Before that, me and him had got a hotel, because we basically at this point was like sneaking around dating, because everybody was just going out of their way to just not, like, we couldn't even be in a room alone together in peace without everybody flipping their shit. We got a hotel. While I was in the hotel, he went and took his coworker friend. I should give her a nickname, huh? Oh, me and my friends used to call her Frog. He took Frog and her her mom to dinner, and because she wanted him to meet her mom. And I'm like, why does she want you to meet her mom? What's going on, babes? What's with that? What's to that? What? And he was just like, well, we're just friends. We're cool. And
He had a
they
whole
from
relationship behind your back. Whole relationship behind your back. He said, come meet my mother.
Because her mom flew down from New York to come and meet him.
I want you to meet my mother.
So he took them to dinner, whatever, left me in the hotel, brought me food back from the dinner, like brought me my own steak and everything. And was like, here, this is for you. Brought me all my favorite snacks and stuff. Are you okay? You've been here for so long, baby. And I was just like, okay, I have no reason not to trust him. Dummy. Bitch, you're a dummy. You're a dummy. I was a dummy.
Oh my God.
Fast forward, I'm in Cozumel, Mexico with my family on a cruise. So I'm there, like, I'm gonna get him a souvenir, and I got him some rosary beads or something. Everything was cool while I was on the cruise. Mind you, this is around Valentine's Day coming up too. She went on her trip, brought him back, bitch, mind you, bigger, badder gift than mine. And I was like, oh, where did you get that? Where did that come from? Oh, Frog gave it to me. She just gave it to me as a gift. Valentine's Day was coming up. He took me to it was Olive Garden. I think I was mad about something pertaining to girl or whatever. And I was like, that's just weird. And y'all are being weird. So I had a little attitude. He was like, okay, we're just going to leave. So before the food even came out, this man then went back in the back of them people's kitchen and told them to pack all the food up before it even came to the table. He was so pissed, paid the tab, whatever. We left. I get to my house. He done bought me some fresh new Uggs, some Victoria's Secret. He gave me like a whole bunch of gifts and stuff. Dummy. Again. I felt bad because he had spent all this money for this surprise and stuff, and I'm over here tripping about the girl. Was not wrong. Do you know that he went and got her the shoes that I wanted, gave them to her for Valentine's Day? And I said, oh. I think shortly after that, I was at this point depressed. The Valentine's Day thing, that's what I forgot. Also with the chessboard thing gift she gave him, she wrote him a box of 100 reasons why I love you.
This is exhausting. This is fucking exhausting.
Imagine how tired we are. And I pulled one of the cards out, girl. I was so hurt. And she had wrote, telling everybody you're mine and I like it. And I really can't hide. I'm excited. I said, oh, okay. Oh, okay. So then, that's when they was meeting the mom and doing all that extra shit. And I was like, girl, this is not giving just friends. Like, this is giving more than friends. So he was like, no bullshit. Black people don't get to be depressed. You need to suck it up. And I was, oh, okay, oh, well. And then he basically broke up with me. I'm not even gonna bullshit. And then after that, we were still talking, but I guess we technically wasn't together.
Why was y'all still talking?
Because I was a dummy, bitch. Because I was a dummy and I was young and naive. He randomly told me that she thought she was pregnant, and I'm like, well, how do we? I didn't miss the chapter. You said what?
Literally giving me a headache. Like,
she was.
oh
and
God.
Now they have a kid together. And then they ended up falling out, and she tried to take her kid and stuff, and she basically was using him for his money. And she was on a mission, but at the same time, he was playing dumb and naive and acting like he didn't know that she liked him and that she was just being nice. And I'm like, you don't know when a girl likes you? Like, are you dumb?
Girl, he was playing in your face
the
entire time.
It was.
The entire time.
And did.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then, mind you, after he had the kid, he spun back. And I kind of went for it. eventually he spun back, and I was like 18 at this point, and he had just bought his penthouse. He had a brand new Bentley, so he picked me up. He was like, let's go out, let's catch up. I'm like, okay. This man took me to the gun range to go meet up with his high school homeboys, basically to wear me on his arm as his girl because his baby mama was not that shit. But mind you, he said, do you have anything else to say to me, because I'm probably gonna go ghost after this? And I said, no, you can just drop me off at the nail salon. And I went and got my nails done, and we literally never spoke again. The end. And then I was like depressed for like 2 years. It took a while to get over that one, because not you had a baby on me.
That's what you worried about? Out of everything, you worried about him having a baby on you.
Yeah, because that just really broke my heart. Like at the time, I remember that shit.
That I get it, because like, because
we was friends for like, we knew each other. It was more so about the betrayal of it all. Like, you didn't have to do that. If you wanted to deal with her, you could have just dealt with her, and we could have just been cool.
Yeah.
But you lied and did the most, and then popped out with a baby, and then made me feel bad for being depressed when I had very valid reasons, mind you. You popped back up, and then went ghost. Is this where my abandonment issues?
It better not. They better not stem from this motherfucker.
Well, they don't stem from that. So, but
jeez,
it definitely triggered me,
bro. That is fucking exhausting. That's an exhausting situation to have to go through. It was too much of an age gap between all of y'all.
For real.
Yeah, especially at that age. Like later on in life, like if y'all was like, you know, 22 and 26 and 34, like that's different than when you're 16, 17, 19, 27. Like that's too fucking much. This is crazy. If I could throw up right now, I would. That's how I feel. I feel like sometimes things that men do and that women tolerate, I just don't understand. But I also do understand, because I have been in those positions, and I've also, you got to go through that type of shit to get some understanding and to learn something and to grow from it. And you're not always that dumb. You know, it take once, twice, maybe 3 times for some women, but you got to go through some crazy shit like that to make it be like, you know, hello, like, girl, no.
Is there anybody in there?
Red flag, hello. Like, is anybody driving? My first cheating situation, I was older. I was 18. I was 18, 19 years old. Yeah, between 18 and 19. We had been together for, I think, a year or like a little bit over a year. First of all, our relationship was not built on strong foundations at all. So when I had met him, he was living in his dad's house, and they was living in a mansion out here in Atlanta. It was like a small little birthday gathering for one of his friends that they was having in the pool in the backyard. So I pulled up with my homegirl, and he just like stared at me and followed me around that whole night, right? Strange when you look back on it. But it's like every time I turned around, he was just like right there. Like every time I turned around, he was right there, and I'm like, okay. And he kept giving me the fucking Edward Cullen eyes. Like that nigga was just like on his light skin, trying to get into my soul, but like, you don't know me, sir, you know. I thought he was cute and everything, and then he just kept making sure he was there every time I turned around. Like, I literally had a few videos, and it was like, scroll up the video, that nigga just like right there, and I'm like in the video, like, oh, okay, I didn't know you was that close to me. But okay, this is his house, you know, whatever. And that night, he was trying to get me to stay the night with him. Red flag. And I'm like, I don't know you like that, sir. You know, to be staying the night at your house. You know, I get that you got, you know, it's a nice house and everything, but no thank you. I don't go like that. And he's like, well, your homegirl, you know, your homegirl trying to stay. I'm like, no, she's actually leaving too. We both about to leave. Like, yeah, like we're both leaving, you know. But it was like after that, he had got my number. And it was like that same night, his other homeboy was like trying to talk to me too. And then his homeboy was trying to like rope him into it. Like, oh yeah, we're trying to do this thing together. And he was like, oh, don't put me in that. I ain't on that. So I'm like, okay, this kind of weird, but I don't know. You know, I met him in a party scenario red flag. But I'm like, okay, we gotta see, what's going on outside of that. That's how we met. Fast forward to us being in a relationship and everything. It was built on the foundations of his father had scammed a lot of people out of like, it was like something, not like, okay. His father scammed a lot of people.
Scamlanta.
So he had to leave Atlanta. And it was all in one day. He just packed up the car. He told him, we leaving. We gotta go. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, what you mean? Where we going? Like, what you got going on? And it was literally, like, raining outside. He packing the car up. He like, you need to get your shit. You need to come with me. And I'm like, all right, you can either go with him or you can grab your suitcase and you can come with me. I don't know what's going on because I don't know what's going on. And, me, I'd be like, okay, it's too much going on in this moment. Just come to my house and chill. Like, if you really need to, like, just come to my house and chill out and then, like, figure out what you need to do. Call your other people who are out here, whatever. Because I don't know what's going on. Like, it was all, like, too fast and I didn't know what was going on. So, he comes back to my house. Mind you, my ex was living in the living room and I moved this nigga in upstairs and that's a whole nother story.
What? Wait to my house. What? Zayda, you like I love you. What?
He was living with me. And that was another red flag because at the time I'm like, I'm gonna take care of him. He's going through a lot right now, like he just needs somebody to understand, and I'm just gonna be the one to understand. While we were living together, we had this whole situation where he was trying to figure out, if he was having a boohoo moment of like, I can't do anything, I don't know how I'm gonna make no money, because I was telling him he needed to go and get a job.
Stand
he
up.
was about how he couldn't get a job and he didn't know how to do nothing or whatever, and I'm like, didn't you used to throw parties at your father's house? He's like, I mean, yeah, I know people that throw parties. I didn't throw the parties, but the promoters would throw the parties. I'm like, okay, well, let's throw some parties. And if you know how to throw parties, people, let's get it together. Like, I know somebody else is trying to do something, and I put some shit together. Put it together. Fast forward a few months, we got Problem Child promotions, the whole promo team. We 60 to 80 people deep. We throwing big ass parties out here in Atlanta, 18 plus parties. We in clubs, we in warehouses, we doing house parties, freak parties. It was a time to be alive. Okay. If you know me from that time, you know who my ex was. You know who it was that I was with.
No, I'm just like,
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Ain't none of them gonna say nothing to me. So the first things that was off was like, it was one day where he told me he had to go to a meeting with some other promoters out here, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. He leaves for this meeting at 12 p.m. He comes back the next afternoon.
don't piss me off. You say what?
Every hour that slipped by, my mind was slipping away from me. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what to think. But I'm like, he's with a whole bunch of niggas. Like, I know exactly the niggas that he with. These niggas know me. Like, what? He comes back the next day. Hickey's on his neck. I said, oh, my God. You think I'm dumb?
Gay? Is you gay?
You think I'm dumb?
So you doing the bending.
So I was like, I kept asking him, I'm like, how you get them hickeys on your neck? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, you really think I'm stupid? I'm looking straight at you, nigga. Like, how did you get these hickeys on your neck? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And then I started breaking down because I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy. Like,
gaslighting.
Like, exactly. I'm like, what the fuck did I do? That was the first and last time I'm sitting there crying in his face. Like, what did I do? Like, what did I do to make you treat me like this? I sit here, got you up off your ass, put all of this business up under you, put you out here in front of all of these people, doing all of the work. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, what did I do? And he's like, I ain't fucked nobody, though.
Cut the cameras.
Cut the cameras. Later on that day, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, it's cool.
I'm appalled a little bit.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck it, it's cool, because he think I'm stupid. And he told me, he was like, you want to know how I got these on my neck? I said, yeah. He told me that he had been basically at a lounge around other guys that knew me, and he was with some girl at the lounge the night before. He was with some girl who would put the hickeys on his neck while they was in the section, is what he said. So I was like, so some girl was close enough to you to had to be sitting on your lap, to be sucking on your neck like this, like y'all had to be having a whole moment is what you telling me. He like, nah. I'm like, nah, like this not.
It's not adding up.
It's not adding up. Like, and then I'm like, okay, so you just want me to believe that you didn't go home with this girl? And he was like, I stayed the night with my homeboys. I stayed in their living room. I said, okay. Okay. And that was the first thing. I'm like, all right. And then his whole thing was, I ain't fuck nobody though. I didn't fuck nobody, Sway. So after that, you already know, like, my thought process about it was like, okay, this is not it. Like, I don't know where this is going, but it's going nowhere fast. Like, I'm starting to pull myself out of it mentally. But he was a Cancer. And he would try to manipulate me emotionally when he noticed that I was pulling away from him. So there was a lot of things that happened under that category.
Tell me about it.
But then it's like, once the actual situation that happened, and the only reason why I call it the actual situation is because this situation I had proof for, and there were like multiple witnesses to it. Like, I had different perspectives. I talked to multiple people about it and shit. And it's like the only thing that I had was him coming home with HICKEYS. Like, I could not prove nor disprove that he even linked with them niggas to begin with and had them meeting or what. So it's like, in the beginning, I'm like, okay, like, I know this shit don't look right, but I literally have no proof, but I do have proof. Like, you get what I mean? So you in that scenario, like, where it's like I don't got solid proof, but I have proof. Like, you came home with HICKEYS, but it's like I don't got like the pictures or the conversations, or like I don't got the actual receipts that's like, yeah, this is who it is, this is what's going on, you know? So I'm like, what the fuck? And then it was random. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So the actual situation that happened, it had happened, and and he was like, I had found out a little bit, like a little while after it happened. I think I found out probably like a week or two after it happened. But it was basically that he cheated on me with a girl that was also on my promo team. One of my girls that was on my team underneath me. Mind you, I'm running the entire promo team. I put all of these bitches on the team. I got my own personal group chat for these girls. They know we in a relationship from the jump, from the beginning of them joining the shit. They know we live together. They respect me. I put them in all of these positions to do modeling opportunities, parties, everything like that. I'm doing all of this type of shit for these girls. And these bitches was plotting on me. So it was a whole setup situation, basically. So it was one girl who, because I ended up leaving the team, and then I put one of the girls who had been on the team for a while in my position to run the girls side of the team. I put her in that position, and all I was hearing was complaints from everybody about how she don't know what she's doing. She's not a businesswoman. Like, she don't know how to handle her shit. So I'm like, all right, you just need to give her some time to like learn, you know, how to get together. And they're like, no, like, she is not it. Like, I don't know what the fuck you got going on. So I'm like, okay, bet. Everybody keep asking me to come to the team because the shit falling apart. I'm like, okay, bet, I'll come back to the team. They started plotting on me when they found that I was coming back to the team. They started their own separate little group chat where it was the girl he cheated with, and it was the girl who I put in my position who turned out to be cousins. They literally said in the group chat, Sway coming back to the team, we gotta get her nigga. Literally said that shit in the group chat. And they all like, oh yeah, like, it's done for, da 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 da. And these bitches don't know who they fucking with, though. So, and this was found out after, like, all of that was found out after the fact. So the way that I really found out was, I was sitting at home one day, and this girl that I was really cool with, she was like, and I had a lot of girls on my team, so a lot of girls in and out of the team and shit. Well, I did it for like 2 years. And one of the girls that was on my team was like leaving the team at the time. And I'm the type where it's like, okay, you know, I respect your decision if you want to leave. Just if there was any drama or anything that happened like within the team that made you want to leave, like, can you talk to me about it on the side? Like, just let me know what's going on so I can handle the situation, you know? So she's like, you know, it's too much going on. It's too much drama, and it's making you look bad. And I don't want no parts of it, so I'm just gonna leave the team. And I'm like, what? Park? Me? Making me look bad? What do you mean it's making me look bad? And she's like, you know, I don't even want to... She didn't even want to, like, be in the drama at all. Like, she didn't want to say what was said to her, but she didn't want to not tell me what was going on. She just kind of was on a thing like, I just don't want to be in this shit at all. Like, I'm just trying to leave the team. Like, it's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I respect that, but like tell me what's going on though. And she was reluctant to tell me. She did not want to tell me, but she didn't want to tell me because she didn't want to be the one that started the shit, because ain't nobody tell me.
Understand.
So she was like, everybody's already know about what's going on, and they talking back and forth about it, and it's just making you look bad because you don't know what's going on. And I don't want to seem like I'm a part of none of this shit. So I'm like, well, what's happening?
Real. That was real.
Right. So I'm like, that's real. Like, I respect that. I respect that a lot. So I'm like, what's going on? She's like, yeah, such and such. Got with your nigga. Everybody knows about it. I said, bitch, everybody but me? Mind you, I do the team meetings at my house every week. Like, who? Like, how? We throw parties all the time. Since the shit happened, we done threw multiple parties together. Like, everybody done been around me, cool, everything. I'm like, what? Something about me? What the fuck? How did this happen? The thing is, though, is with him, because he was already, like, throwing parties and in the public eye and shit, and it was, like, girls that was, like, on his dick back and forth. There were bitches throughout our relationship that would hit me up trying to make it seem like he was cheating on me with them, and he wasn't. Like, they'll be like, oh, yeah, he was with me last night, and he lived with me. And we was literally together all day yesterday and the day before that. And you sending me videos from when he was living in his father's house before he even got the rest of his sleeve of his tattoos. Like, shit like that to just try to be on something or try to start something or whatever. So, since I had those situations before, I'm like, okay, who you hear this from? She's like, I heard it from this person. I said, okay. I hit up that person. I say, yeah, you said da-da-da-da? They're like, oh, shit. Yeah, I did. So I'm like, who you hear this from? I heard it from this person. So I go down the line until I hear that somebody actually say, I heard it from her. Because I'm trying to see if it's some he say, she ain't never say that shit, just in case. They're like, no, I heard it from her. I said, okay. I texted her phone. I said, you fucked my nigga? I said, you don't gotta lie about it. He already told me. Mind you, he didn't tell me nothing. He's upstairs taking a shower. He's upstairs taking a shower. I'm sitting downstairs on the couch. I'm like, he already told me that. You could tell me. She was like, I don't even want to get into it over something we didn't even finish. She said, it's not even that deep. Like, oh. I was like, you did? Okay, bet. I want to fight. She said, if you want to be mad at anybody, you should be mad at my cousin, because she set the shit up. That's when I found out all the extra shit, and she started sending me pictures of the group chat and all this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, okay. I texted Shorty. Shorty act like she didn't know what I was talking about. So, oh, okay. Whole time, the cousin, she's texting my nigga upstairs, like, and he's texting her, like, why would I do that? Like, how am I going to tell Sway? This is going to be crazy as hell. And she's telling him, like, don't worry, I respect Sway too much. I'm not going to tell her nothing.
Did you just...
So I'm like, okay. So Shorty tells me, she basically said when she was like, yeah, we didn't finish. Blah, blah. So, okay. I set the phone down. Oh, I went upstairs to confront him about what I learned. So, trigger warning. Trigger warning, okay? So I went upstairs to confront him about what I found out, right? He was in the bathroom. I'm thinking he's in the shower because I hear the shower running and everything. Turns out he was about to get in the shower. So I go and I tried to open up the door because the door is always unlocked, but the door was locked. So I'm like, every little thing from that point is like, you showing me you a shady ass nigga now. Like, yeah, that you ain't never do this before. Now we locking doors. Okay, bet. You knew I was going no. I tried to open up the door, and then I knocked on the door, and he opened up the door. So I walked to the bathroom, and I sat up on the counter. And I looked at him. He's standing there. He got a towel around his waist, butt naked. I looked at him and said, you fucked Shorty? Insert name. You fucked her? The fear in this nigga eyes when he looked at me. He looked down, and he looked up, and he was like, like... And I was like,
crying.
I was like, that's not I was like, that's not, I was like, that's funny. That's not the look you had on your face the first time I asked you that question. Because mind you, he had been saying, I ain't fuck nobody though, I ain't fuck nobody though, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now you're looking at me like, I'm looking at him, he was just like, yeah. Trigger warning, I came off the hip. What? It was not a fine day for me. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, if y'all need context. But yeah, I was also 19 years old. I came off the hip and I pimp slapped this man twice.
Respectfully. Like,
very disrespectfully, actually. I'm going to apologize now because I apologized to him after all of that because I was like, you know what? I did start the fight. I did start it. I did start the fight. I had to. He did. So,
did she really? He started the fight when he locked that bat from you. Honestly. Bitch, you got me fucked up.
You up here texting the enemies.
Right. Exactly.
Plotting on my demise.
You started that fight.
I hit him. And then I stopped myself and I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, you know, I had one of them, you know what? I'm an adult. Calm down. And I walked out of the bathroom calmly, went into the bedroom, and I snatched all his shit out the closet. I'm throwing it down the steps. So I'm throwing it down the steps, I'm talking shit. I'm throwing everything down the steps. He comes in the room. I don't know what he said to me because I was already up here. He said something to me. I stepped in his face. It was a Tyler Perry movie scene after that. And I'll save that story for a separate video, but it got domestic in that bitch. And I wasn't getting triggered. It got real. And it was a blow for blow situation. I did not back down. Almost lost my life. And then I made him fear for his. Immediately after. I also got attacked by my dog in the process. And my mom almost had to call the police on me. That was how that ended that day. And he was standing outside with his one little clear backpack of like t-shirts and shit. Like, can I hold your phone so I can call somebody? And I'm like, no, ask that bitch. No. He's like, I need to find somewhere. I'm like, go stay with that bitch. Tell that bitch come pick you up. Yo, go stay with her. She was so convenient that night. You needed somewhere to stay, huh? Go stay with her. And he was sad, but he stood outside my house for longer than 30 minutes, and then I ran down on him 2 more times. And my mother was like, you need to get from around here. Like, I'm going to have to call the police. Like, she's not going to stop. She's not going to stop. Like,
oh, you still here?
Christina's gone. Like, Christina's gone, baby. Christina's dead.
Well, like the officer, I gave him time to leave.
She's on my property. I felt threatened. Okay. Yeah, it got real bad that day.
Just imagine.
Girl, I was sliding out the back door. I was trying to jump out the window. I'm like, yo, because I had one of the moments where I was like, oh, you want to, and I remember saying this, I was like, you want to play with me like I'm a bitch on the street? And fight me like I'm a bitch on the street? All bets were off that day. I had nothing to lose. Oh my God. I had nothing to lose. I gave it all to him. Me and him had tried to have a baby together at one point. I had gave it all to him. I had nothing to lose, baby. Nothing. So I fought him. And then I told her I want to fight her. And she was like, you should be mad at my cousin. I said, okay, I want to fight you and your cousin.
Right. Matter of fact.
2 for 2. Y'all can pull up together, bitch. I'll punch at the same time.
I'll swing by and get you first.
Because the fuck. So after that. Was I heartbroken? Yes. Because I spent a lot of time with him. And emotional manipulators, they figure out how to they wrap their fingers into your brain. They try to find the traumas and they try to find the things that really affect you and trigger you. And they try to make you feel like that they are your support in that particular area just so they can use that against you. And even when you don't believe they're gonna do it, they will. And that shit sucked. And he put me through a lot of highs and lows. And he messed with my mental health drastically because I'd also just had a sexual trauma before that. So he was not... He put me in the psych ward, girl. I lost it. My whole team didn't even know that I was in the hospital. They just knew like I was in the hospital for a little bit. They didn't know if I was in the ER, if I broke something. I was in the ward getting my mind together. And the crazy part about it is the only person to visit me and call me was him. And he put me in there. And then he would just come every day and then do a sob story. It was Give It the Notebook, bitch. Like, we'll be together. I wrote you and I just love you so much. And I'm sitting there like,
Get this thing out of here.
Where the fuck is Ashton Kutcher? Like, please tell me this is a joke. The fuck? I couldn't get away from it. And then, so that all messed me up a lot. And then afterward, he stalked me for 3 years. He stalked me for 3 years. He gave me, slur slide attempt calls where he was going to make me responsible for him and his mental health and where he was. And it got to the point where one day I was like, okay, I'll send the police to your last known location. And he didn't believe me until I sent the police to his last known location. You said you were going to do it. You either going to do it or you're not. But I'm not going to come and save you this time. So I sent the police to his location. He called me and he was mad because he had things that the police didn't need to find with him. And you don't play games like that if you don't really need help. Like, hey, I was really going through it and I really needed help at a certain point in time. And he was not helping me at all. It definitely changed how I approach relationships now. It's way easier for me to stay celibate and really scope the scenery out before I deal with somebody. I need to see somebody in different lights, in different seasons, in different emotions. I need to see how you are in trauma situations and drama situations, when you're calm, when you're happy. I need to really see how your mind works before I can deal with you, because I'm a very intelligent person, and it's like, if it's not going to make sense logically, I can't have it around me. If it causes me too much confusion, it's going to give me a lot of conflict in my day-to-day life with other things, because this thing I can't problem solve. I can't figure out. It's always something going on. That's why I can't deal with like toxic relationships with people, because it's pointless. A lot of that shit is pointless, and it's intentional. You're choosing not to communicate, and you're choosing to argue, and you're choosing to act weird, and you're choosing to start shit just so y'all can make up later, when it's not really worth all of that. It really don't be worth it, All that to say, he's still alive and well. I didn't do nothing to him. Well, I don't know if he's well. I think he just recently got out of jail. But that's doing well. You got out. He's alive and well. I'm alive and fabulous. She's alive and doing great. I don't know what they alive and thriving in their new happy family
since that day.
So yeah, that was a very crazy, dramatic, very messy story time coming from both of us. The guy that I dealt with, he was a Cancer. Hers was a Libra. I'm a Gemini, by the way. I was a Gemini dealing with a Cancer, man. If you know anything about Gemini women, that's just not in the cards. Like, it's not.
All I have to say is I'll never date my same sign again. Ever.
Let me know how you guys felt about these story times. If it was messy enough for you, how you feel about these guys that we were dealing with, or our thought processes on it. And have you ever been cheated on? Or have you ever cheated?
What's tea?
Put that down in the comments if you have cheated on somebody. I want to hear why you cheated on them, and if you got caught.
Oh, we should read the stories out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And if you guys' stories.
Yeah, if you do choose to leave a story as to how you got cheated on, or if you cheated on somebody and how you got caught or how you found out about it, leave that story in the comments, and we will make another video sharing y'all stories publicly, so we can get messy on the internet with y'all. So thank y'all for watching the video. Thank you for being here as my co-host today. Like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel and tune in, because this new video is dropping every Friday. Bye!